Hello and welcome back. If you're new, hello, welcome. Feel free to subscribe. So today, as you probably guessed from the title, it's a review of this BB cream. It is the Clarins Skin Perfecting BB Cream and I have the shade 01 Fair. So I picked this up the end of last year. I've been having a thorough play with it, so I thought I'd share with you what I found. First up, the cost. So it is £30 for 45ml. So it is a bit on the high end. Sort of that high-end, high street kind of stuff. It's not like super expensive, but it's not cheap. And with this, as I said, I have 01 Fair. There are 3 colours available, so not a massive shade selection and no good for anybody with darker skin tones. It's fine for us pale girls. I'm actually really surprised that it's a decent enough match for me. It is a wee touch dark for my liking, but only a tiny amount. For example, when I'm using my concealer to cover a few blemishes, which you'll see in the cutaway, I'm using the shade 2 shades darker than the one I would normally use. So it is a wee bit dark for me, but not massively so, and I always bring it down my neck anyway, so problem solved. This has also got SPF 25, so bit of SPF in there. I would always use sun protection anyway. With anything that has SPF, you would probably need to slather it all over your face for it to be effective, but generally speaking, it's nice to have a wee bit of SPF in your product. The aim of this is revitalize, protects and evens skin tone. Now we'll go to the cutaway. So as you can see, I woke up this morning, now my face was not happy with me at all. I have some lovely spots that have decided to come up. I did put some tea tree on this morning to try and dry them up a bit, and this highlighted an issue for me. Well, actually it just reminded me of the issue. This does not work particularly well with dry patches. It will really cling to them and it will look flaky and cakey, which is not ideal. I apply this with my fingers all over because it warms the product. It is quite an emollient product, so quite thick of itself, and I find using my hands warms the product and spreads that bit easier all over my face. I do think it helps to even things out a wee bit, and to me it just makes my skin look a bit healthier. Now when I don't have blemishes and weird patches going on, it makes my skin look much better because my skin is already at a good starting point. But as you can see here, it actually does an okay job of covering things up. Now it is not going to hide any blemishes, it's not going to cover your under eyes or, you know, hide your eye bags and stuff like that. What it is just doing is just evening things out a wee bit, giving you a nice sort of light base to work from. So it provides light to medium coverage. I did try adding a wee bit extra on my blemishes just to see if it would just provide that extra bit of coverage, and it wasn't particularly successful. And then because I'm obviously concentrating on that area, it's going to become a bit more red and agitated. So not really any good if you are blemish prone and you're looking for some sort of coverage for that. You will still need your concealers, etc. So I think it applies really nicely all over. It spreads really nicely once you warm it up with your fingers. I prefer my fingers to a brush or a sponge because the brush, it just took longer to work it into my skin, and the sponge actually just removed whatever coverage it was providing because it's already pretty lightweight. The sponge just took that away again, so I wouldn't really recommend using the sponge, but the sponge does an okay job of distributing the product, but I prefer to use my hands. I can just work it into my skin a bit better. Once it's all worked in, I sometimes do and I sometimes don't set my face. It depends. Today, for example, I have set my face because I'm going to be on camera and I wanted to get some concealer action going on, so I've concealed under my eyes, I've concealed my blemishes, and then I've set my face and done the rest of my face. So, you know, you don't necessarily have to set this. This wears pretty well even when it's not set, but obviously it wears longer if it is set. But for me, I have normal skin with an oily centre and the odd dry patch around my eyes, which, touch wood actually, they seem to have pretty much cleared up. So that's a winning moment. Just remember that. So normal skin, it wears pretty well throughout the day. It is definitely still there at the end of the day, but it is, you know, massively faded if it hasn't been set. Whereas if I do set it, I can still see a certain amount of coverage at the end of the day. This works well with other products. I haven't had any issue applying any other concealers or any other blusher or any other product on top of this. It's fine. This also doesn't irritate my skin, which is quite nice, because some foundations, if I wear them consecutively, you know, day after day, I will get breakouts quite badly. With this, I haven't had that issue, which is really nice. I'm sure if I wore it for maybe a month or so all the time, I might notice something, you know, but over, well no, a couple of months, because I have been testing it since near the start of December. I haven't had any issue. So it's been a month, I've not really had any irritation that hasn't caused any flare-ups or spots or anything like that, so that's really good. So it's not clogging my face either. So overall, I think it's a pretty decent BB cream. It would be nice if there was a lighter shade. That would be really nice. And it would be nice if there was a teeny tiny amount of, you know, a wee bit more coverage, because I have had BB creams in the past that provide a wee touch more coverage, and they help take the redness out of, you know, spots and blemishes and stuff, which this does to a certain extent, just not as much as I would like. But it's not too bad. It's one I'd recommend investigating. If you have drier skin, I'm not sure it's the right product for you. If you're prone to sort of flaking and, you know, dry patches, etc., it's going to cling to them, it's going to make them look more obvious, and it's not going to help your situation at all. And if you're prone to spots, etc., you're going to need concealer over the top. Like, I've just used concealer and it's worked okay. I would prefer a fuller coverage foundation, but I think this has worked quite well. If you have any questions, let me know down below. This is short and sweet. So we've done coverage, cost, amount, how it plays with the skin, all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks a million for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and see you next time. Thanks a million. Bye!